Pump your brakes, MAGA and Biden supporters. RFK is starting to take some of Trump's support.
The latest national NBC News poll also shows the third-party vote is affecting Mr. Trump's support more than President Biden.
But when the ballot is expanded to 5 candidates, President Biden is the one with a 2-point lead within the margin of error at 39%, Donald Trump at 37%, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. at 13%. It is contrary to a lot of other polling that's out there, as well as the conventional wisdom that is the larger share of the third party vote would end up hurting President Biden. Well, in our poll, it shows it actually hurts Trump a little bit more.
Here goes RFK Jr. talking about abortion.
Thank you for your advocacy on this issue and for your friendship. As Angela said, my orientation, I've been one of the leading fighters in this country for medical autonomy, for medical freedom. I don't think the government, my posture is the government should not be telling people what to do with their bodies. But at the same time, I come from a family that is divided between pro-choice and pro-life. My closest mentor in my family was Eunice Shriver, who was very, very much pro-life. I think we all ought to be able to have this conversation and treat each other with respect. And that is the relationship that Angela and I have.
Jesus Christ, man, get to it. Do you support it or not? Jesus, you sound more like a politician every day there, Kennedy. What's up, bro? Spit it out. Let people know what you do, what you feel, what can they expect in the Kennedy presidency. It kind of like got convoluted. But I've heard him say something about 3 months. I don't know, 13 weeks? Something like that, okay? So he is more along the lines of Trump in that regard, which puts him in there, and he's also his Israel support is sort of like Trump's too, which is Israel get all the money they want and for as long as they want, and that's sort of like his stance on that. So on several policies, RFK is more like Trump than he is like Biden. Biden's bad too, but I think RFK is even more staunchly. But Joe Biden's taking all that money from AIPAC, so there it is. But I think that's one of the things about RFK. That's one of his problems. He's also horrible in Gaza. Jesus Christ. One of the comments was he felt that Palestinians were the most pampered people or something. What was that? He was on Breaking Points.
Netanyahu and his government have said absolutely no. They built up Hamas to try to thwart any sort of Palestinian statehood. Where's the focus on that?
I'm not defending Netanyahu, and I don't co-sign what Netanyahu and Likud do. Israel is a divided country. 80 or 20% of the population were on the street demonstrating against Netanyahu. What I'm saying is Hamas is a criminal enterprise.
Sure.
Yes. The Palestinian, and you talk about solutions for the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people are arguably the most pampered people by international aid organizations in the history of the world.
Are you kidding me? No, even before this war, 78% of people in Gaza said they had, not enough food to eat.
Right. And why is that? Why are you blaming Israel?
In part, it's Hamas, and in part, it's the fact that Israel imposed a blockade and talked about putting them on a diet.
If your neighbor, first of all, Israel has no obligation. Israel built 3,000 hothouses, and
wow, tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed in their homes or in their schools or in churches or in hospitals. And he said that's pampered. That's crazy talk. That's one of the problems that RFK Jr. has right now. But Biden's got his own problems. There goes a clip yesterday of Joe Biden being asked about those college campus protests because people want to end the wars. They want to end the bombing in Gaza.
Mr. President, what's your message to the protesters? Do you condemn the anti-Semitic protests on college campuses?
I condemn the anti-Semitic protests. That's why I've set up a program to deal with that. I also condemn those who don't understand what's going on with the Palestinians and how they're being...
Should the Columbia University president resign?
I also condemn those who don't understand what's going on with the Palestinians and how they're being...
Should the Columbia University resign.
Right this way.
Mr. President, do you condemn the anti-Semitic protests going on in college campuses? I condemn the anti-Semitic protests going on in campuses. There aren't any anti-Semitic protests going on in campuses. There are protests against the Gaza war. That's all. Yeah, that's what you... Big difference. It is what it is. Then he said something I don't understand, and he was like, but I also condemn people that don't know what to do with the Palestinians. Then he sounded like Bill Cosby. Then I condemn the people that are with the people with the pudding pop. Then he trailed off, and I don't know what he said. I did not condemn the people that with the Palestinians. Something he went to. I don't know what it was he was saying at that point. Sounding like goopity goopity doop. So Biden's got his own problems. One of those would be Michigan. And a lot of other places too. Okay? So the Gaza war, genocide, whatever you want to call it, I got no problems calling it whatever. I feel like if you have a military that are fighting people that don't have uniforms, and you are indiscriminately bombing people, I would call that a genocide. RFK is starting to hurt Trump in the numbers, and that's the only thing that's helping Biden. But when it comes to head to head, Biden ain't looking good. Biden's looking bad. And it is what it is, Johnson, and that's a fact, Jack. So, contrary to what they're reporting on mainstream media, Joe Biden's not running against just Donald Trump. Joe Biden's running against Joe Biden. And Joe Biden has had an opportunity to be president for a while. People got to look at him like they got to look at Trump. And they said, let's go with Biden. So America's suffering from a little bit of schizophrenia, right? Because they had Trump. It was like, we get Biden. Then they got Biden like, let's go back to Trump. I didn't vote for either one of those, by the way. So I got a lot of room to talk. Okay. Cornell's the only candidate that recognizes and acknowledges Hamas as resistant fighters in October 7th as a counterterrorism operation. That's an excellent point of distinction, brother. Excellent. Pro-peace is not anti-Semitic. I love it. This is why, you know what I'm saying? My people, man, that's why we rock together. You feel me? Stylistic, what's up, brother? See, because we on the same page on some of the issues. We don't agree on everything, but we agree on a lot. The Tim Black Show was truly independent. Become a member by going to jointimblack.com for only $5 a month. You can't beat it. It's the best deal going. Here's the next video. Watch that and share it with a friend. Peace, y'all.